You are listening to the Beyond the Classroom podcast, a podcast for burnt-out teachers who know something's gotta give. After teaching for 14 years and feeling completely burned out for way too long, in May of 2022, I made a big decision and left the classroom. I now help burnt-out teachers like you take back balance and joy so you can wake up every day loving your life. In this podcast, we'll explore who you are beyond the classroom, whether you're considering leaving or wanting to make changes so you can fall in love with teaching again. Either way, I understand what it's like to be living a life that looks fun and cute on the outside. You know, summer's off, playing all day, off at 2 o'clock every day, but actually feels miserable and draining. I'm your host and coach, Sandy Patterson, and I'm so excited to help you step into your fullest potential and believe in that potential to make an impact on the world, not just survive each day. Are you ready? Let's do this. Hello there, and welcome back to another episode of the Beyond the Classroom podcast. I am Sandy Patterson, your host and certified life and business coach, and I am so excited to introduce you today to a special guest. We have Hailey Glynn here today with us. Hi, Hailey.
Hi.
Yay. Hailey is a teacher turned author, publishing mentor, and a business owner. So I am so excited. I met Hailey on Instagram, as we do these days, and I'm so excited for her to share her story with you and just for you to hear her path out of the classroom. So Hailey, tell me a couple fun facts about you. Tell us about you.
Okay, so I did teach for 6 years. I taught first grade for 4 years and second grade for 2 years. I did love it. I loved the kids and I loved the act of teaching. I feel like it comes very naturally and just feels like a space that feels like home to me. So I loved that. I did leave the classroom, but I'm sure we'll dive into that. Another fun fact is that I absolutely love to travel. I have a trip planned to Vietnam in a couple months, so I'm very excited for that. And I guess another fun fact is that I actually also illustrate my own books as well.
Oh, that is amazing. Okay, have you always been artistic?
I have, yeah. I've always been artistic. I've always leaned towards the artsy side. And I mean, I never even really thought about writing a book, but when it did kind of become a thing, my mom was like, oh, well, you could actually illustrate it as well. So it just happened naturally and seemed to work.
Yeah. Okay. So tell me a little bit about that book that you're referring to.
So my first book was When Verona the Corona Came to Town. So that's the one that came out during the pandemic. And what happened with that was I was teaching at the time and the parents were messaging me every single day asking me, how do I explain this to my child? What should I tell them? How can I educate them about this without scaring them? And so I was trying to think of a way that they could tell their kid what was going on. Well, I mean, I didn't even know what was going on, to be quite honest. Nobody did. But what happened was my mom was like, oh, you should just write a book for them and explain it in that format. So I actually wrote it for my students at the time and then shared it on Instagram. And then the teachers on Instagram kind of ran with it and made it a bestseller and put me on the map as an author. So that was
I'm
awesome.
I am mind blown right now because I read that book to my class. I'm sure I have it in one of the bins in my garage. Lifesaver. Such a good, exactly what you described. How do we describe what's going on to our young kids here? And we don't even really know. And we are still processing this whole thing too. So I'm literally mind blown right now. So that's amazing. So have you written other books too?
Yeah, so I wrote kind of a follow-up to that book, which was called Cornelia Spunk Can Learn Next to a Skunk. And that basically just encourages kids to own their learning journey. The idea behind it was that kids were learning in all types of different places. I had students logging on from a closet, the backseat of a car, random places to try to do this online learning. So the whole thing was oh, I can learn here, I can learn there. It's rhymey and fun and basically just tells you can learn from anywhere. Don't compare yourself. Your learning journey is different than everyone else's. So yeah, and then I published a children's activity book called The Squiggle Book, and that one is meant to inspire creativity and kind of like spark creativity in young minds. So they get a squiggle, and the idea is that they turn it into something, and it actually kind of turned into a really great tangible way to, I used it in my classroom, show students that minds think differently, and that it is actually like a really beautiful thing.
Oh my goodness. Okay, this is so amazing. Thank you so much for sharing all that. So one question that comes up for me as you're talking is like, okay, so you wrote these books and you also taught through COVID. So you taught through that whole like mess and that whole thing. What shifted you into like then what happened? How did you end up, what happened?
Yeah, so it's wild because when I started teaching, I thought I was a lifer, and I would get so offended whenever anyone would be like, "Oh, like everyone burns out." I was like, "I'm never gonna burn out. This, that, the other thing."
Yeah.
But it was kind of a combination of things. Like I did burn out. The education system is very flawed, as we know. And I kind of had this opportunity like knocking on my door. I had people in my DMs every day about like asking me for help writing their children's book, publishing their children's book. And so then I started offering just like one-on-one sessions. I'm like, oh, people can like book a one-on-one, and I'm happy to like tell them everything I know, answer their questions. Yeah. And my months started selling out. And then I was like, okay, how can I service like more people at once? And the whole thing is that I did not want to just offer like download products, because the writing and publishing process requires so much, just like you need ambition, you need accountability. It can be very daunting. So I wanted a way for people to have the resources they need, but also be held accountable so that they make it through the process. So what I did was I started offering writing academies and then publishing academies. So I have academies where I like help people write their book. They come with an idea and they leave with a polished manuscript. And then I give them a few months to get it illustrated. And then I have a publishing academy where we go through all of the technicalities of publishing and kind of like set their book up for success that way. So it just kind of happened. It just unfolded in a way that made sense. And
yeah, and I'm assuming that you probably went to school or went to college and got some sort of, like, you didn't get an education in writing or book publishing or any of that. Like, what was your degree in?
So my degree, yeah, that's funny. My degree was, my undergrad degree was international relations. Like I said, I love to travel. I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. And it was like my junior year, and they were like, girl, you need to declare a major. And I was like, I don't know what to declare. So I just randomly picked international relations because I was like, oh, I like learning about the world. Perfect. And then I minored in Spanish. So it had nothing to do with really anything I do now, which is funny.
Yeah. I guess the reason that I was pointing that out or asking that is because you're essentially doing something now. Like, you're a business owner, you're an author, you mentor and coach people on how to do the same, but you don't have a background in any, like, no, I don't want to say a baguand. You don't have an official degree or certificate on any of those things.
Correct. I'm very self-taught. Yes.
Yeah. And I guess I guess I want to point that out because I talk to so many teachers too. And excuse me, the one thing that I hear often is like, well, all I know how to do is teach. Oh, that's all I know how to do. That's all I have. Like, that's all I have. So what would you say to that?
See, the whole thing about that is that being a teacher, your skill set is so incredibly robust. Since I've left the classroom, I've realized the amount of things I can manage at a single time. My ability to deliver information in a way that other people understand it. I mean, in a way, I'm still in a teaching role. You know what I mean? And I'm still in like a mentoring role. Like, I'm still like helping people, teaching people. Like, teachers are, I mean, in my opinion, they're like the gold standard. I just think they're the best, and no one knows. No one has any idea how much teachers do and how much they're capable of. So to that, I would say your skills are so transferable. And if you are even a little bit interested in something else, you gotta like take that leap and believe in yourself and see what you can do with it, because you do have skills that are transferable and very, very valid.
Yes, I 100% agree with everything that you just said. And I tell teachers all the time, I'm like, literally, if you can teach, you can do anything.
Anything.
Yeah. So I want to ask you too about something that you mentioned a little bit earlier too. You said, I thought I was going to be a lifer. I love that you called it a lifer. I was in the same boat too, like lifer, like go to school, get your credential, like you get your classroom. I'm going to die in K1 teaching kindergarten. That's just how it is. So at what point for you did you realize that you are not going, you're no longer going to be a lifer?
I mean, for me, I was just finding that the work-life balance was not there. Like, I felt like I wanted to give the world to my students, and the education system did not allow me to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it is a very draining profession, and it just seems like they're constantly adding new requirements and meetings and other things you need to collect data on. And it's just like, at the end of the day, you're one person.
Mm-hmm.
And this totally just goes back to like, teachers are insanely capable. The amount of things that you juggle, like the amount of different things, like you have your hand in data collection, social emotional behavior, like interactions between friends, regulation, on top of like creating a nice environment to be in, and like garnering respect between, there's just so many things that teachers have their hand in. And another thing is, to be quite honest, for everything teachers do, I just like did not feel like I was being paid enough.
Okay, I almost
what I was
literally
doing.
just interrupted you. And I was like, yeah, teachers are freaking amazing and so incredibly grossly underpaid. Like, for the amount of work that teachers do, you should be getting paid more. And
Yes.
you're basically, I don't know what the word would be for this, I guess capped, but like you can't,
Totally.
there's no, like, yeah,
There's
you
no
can
way to
move up
grow.
the pay scale, but it takes years and more degrees. And then once you're there, it's not even, I 100% agree. And I appreciate you for bringing that up, because I think that that is a topic too that a lot of teachers will avoid, because it feels selfish to want more money. It feels
No, see, that's the other thing. It's like, I don't think that it's selfish, and I have run into issues with this in the past.
Yeah.
Because they try to tell you that it's selfish, and they try to tell you that you do this profession for the kids. This conversation's taking a total turn, but I
No,
love
it's fine.
it.
Let it go. Let it go.
But no, your time, your energy, and your skills should be valued, and they are not valued in a way that is acceptable, in my personal opinion. So,
Oh, girl,
yeah, and
I
if you
agree.
voice that, which, I mean, I did voice it, and they like hate when you voice it. So it just, the burnout just compounds in so many different ways, and it had nothing to do with the kids. I am obsessed with every single student I've ever had. I like literally love them to my core. But the education system like is just not built for teachers, or quite frankly, like for students. It is a business.
Girl, I
So
literally agree with everything that you're saying. Sorry, I keep like interrupting you. I'm
no,
like,
I love
that is so true. And I always said too, like I felt, and you taught through COVID, so you'll get this. Like I felt like COVID was the perfect time for us to really step back and like look at what we were doing in the education system and like make it better, like fix it so we're doing what is truly best for students and for teachers. And the exact opposite happened. It went like complete flip-flop. And I also, okay, so I have another question for you. So you talked about like when you realized like, okay, I'm not going to be a lifer. I'm not willing to sacrifice my value, my mental health, for, even though I love my students, I'm just not willing to do this forever. Like it's not anymore. Most people will stay where they are because it's comfortable. Most people will say, I don't like this. This is burning me out. My mental health is taking a hit. This is so messed up. The system is so messed up. But they won't actually do anything about it. They'll stay right where they are, and no judgment, because it's comfortable there. Even though it's not actually comfortable, it's actually uncomfortable, but it's familiar, I guess. Not comfortable, it's familiar. So what for you, like how did you how did you decide to take a stand for yourself? Like, how did you weigh that out and say, I can't do this?
I think it's like a combination of things. Like I'm very much a trust my gut kind of person. And I also just like truly believe that no matter what I do, like I'll always land on my feet somehow or some way. I mean, again, like teachers are creative. You'll figure it out. You'll find a way. You have to, like, you will figure it out, and it will probably be better case scenario than where you are now if you're feeling burnt out. So yeah, I was just feeling like, whoa, I don't know what's next for me. I don't know if I can run with this publishing thing full force. I love it, but is it there? I don't know. Do I want to work for myself? I don't know. But I was like, I knew in my heart of hearts, I had to go. It was my time. And so it was, as soon as I knew it was sayonara, I'll have to just figure it out. So yeah, just like trusting yourself, trusting the universe. You're going to be fine. You'll figure it out. There's so many resources. There's you, there's me. There's tons of avenues you can take.
Oh gosh.
You'll be okay. It's scary for sure.
Yes. Oh my gosh. This was so, you just said something that I'm wondering about too. You said, I'm just like a trust my gut type of person, which is awesome. But you also said, I have this like deep seated belief that I know that I'm going to land on my feet no matter what. I'm curious, have you always had that belief?
Yeah, I have. And I don't know if it's like, I don't know if it's a personal thing. I don't know if it's maybe it's like a privilege, honestly, because I have like a very strong support system. So I'm sure that helps. But I don't know. I would like to think that part of it is just like, I don't know. I don't want to say like mindset necessarily, because everyone gets in slumps. Like I get in slumps. It was like, oh my God, what am I doing? This is crazy. Maybe I shouldn't.
Yeah.
But
I think it is mindset though. It's a belief, right? Because you either choose to believe, and I agree with you when you say like, maybe it's privilege, maybe part of it is privilege. Maybe it's maybe I've always believed that, maybe.
Right.
But that belief, like you can choose to believe like I'll land on my feet, or you can choose to believe, I guess not believe, but you could choose to cave into the fear.
Yes.
I guess. The fear on the other side.
And the other thing is like, I knew that it's kind of just like forging your own path. It's like, I didn't know what was next for me. And I was fully ready to like go through a really hard time in order to end up in a better place. Like I was mentally prepared for that. I was like, okay, it might not be rainbows and butterflies the whole way. You know what I mean? But like, I know that I don't know what is it, but I know this is not it. So I need to leave to go figure out what is it.
Yes, that is like so profound and so beautiful. And like you just said, I was ready. Like I was prepared to go through. I was ready for it to be hard. That's really brave to say that.
Well, yeah. I mean, anytime you change anything, it can totally be scary, right? You just like, we fear, fear fundamentally comes from like the unknown. So if you don't know what's going to happen, it's going to be scary.
Yeah. And I just had a conversation with a client about this too, about like, choose your hard. Like this is hard and this is going to be hard, but like, what do you like, choose which one you want to go with. And we're going to go with this one. So yes. Okay. So tell me a little bit about when you started your business, like, because you said you don't have a business background, right?
No, I don't. No, and I am like I'm learning new things every day. I just spent like 2 hours before this Googling. I'm trying to figure out this one thing within my business. And I'm like, you just spend a lot of time on Google and you just, it's a lot of trial and error. I will tell you that. But yeah, but it's perf at the end of the day.
So I guess
what was the question?
Let me make that a little clearer. So what has been the hardest thing about starting your business? And then I'll also ask you what's been the best thing about starting your business.
The hardest thing I would say is probably two things. One is holding myself accountable. It's like when you don't have to like show up for work every day.
Mm-hmm. You're your
Yeah.
boss.
I'm like, maybe I just want to watch Netflix. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I found that for me, the hardest part is literally getting started. And then I do like it. I love it. I find it so just like fulfilling and interesting. So as soon as I get started, I'm like sucked in. But actually sitting down to get started is hard. And then sorting through the information, like when you don't have a business background, and like none of my friends are really like business girlies, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
My best friend is also starting a business, so I've had her. We kind of like truck through it together.
Yeah.
But it's just there's just so much information to sort through. And I feel like that's what people feel like with publishing, and it is the same. It's like there's just so much information to sort through. So it's been like, I don't know, I'm going to read about this for 2 days and make a decision and hope it works. And if it doesn't, I'm going to readjust and pivot and find something that does work, you know?
Oh, yes, definitely. And you just touched on something too that I agree with everything that you've said, but you just talked about how like none of my friends are really like business girlies, but I do have this one friend, and I always talk about how it is so important to have at least one person, to have a community, to have somebody there that is either going through it with you or that's been through it. Like to kind of help and push you along, because otherwise it can be so isolating. And as teachers, I don't think we're meant to work in isolation.
Agree.
And as women, I don't think
people.
That's a thing. We're people, yeah. So just having someone there that you can just like vox and be like, oh my gosh, listen to what just happened. Is this normal? Like, does this happen to you? Like,
yes,
crap, like what's going on?
1000%.
That is so important. And okay, so then what has been the best thing about starting your business?
It's just so exciting, and it's so validating in so many different ways, and the people you meet, the relationships that you get to make. It's like, for me, I get to see people publishing their books, and like, it's just for a lot of people, it's a lifelong dream. So it's like, oh my gosh, I've had a hand in helping you fulfill your lifelong dream. B, putting this beautiful work out into the world that is like impacting kids in such a positive way. Yeah. And C, like a lot of the feedback that I get is that that I make people feel so confident, which is, when I started this, like that wasn't ever my intention, but I think it's just like, I don't know, something that I don't know, but I love it.
I know. I can take a guess at what part of that is that it's that belief that like, I know I'll land on my feet, and I'm sure that in some way, whether you voice it or if it's just your energy, you share that belief with them. And
it's just that's such a nice feeling too, to like help people feel confident. Because another thing I hear is that they're like, oh, I've had this idea, but I don't know if it's good, or I like have this idea, but like I don't know if I'm like worthy of being an author. And it's just like, actually that idea is incredible. There's a gap in the market there. There are no books covering that topic. Like, yes, you can do it. Yes, you are worthy of doing it. It's wild. Yeah.
And here's the thing too, even if there are already 100 books, 1,000 books on that same whatever topic, like nobody's going to do it like you. Nobody's going to do it like you.
You've got your own individual flair, and we love that. Yeah.
I always think, and I talk about this with my clients a lot too, like, what if we weren't worried about, like, what if we weren't asking ourselves those questions? What if we weren't like, oh, I'm not worthy. I'm not ready. Is this good enough? What if those questions didn't even exist and we just moved in
we would flourish. I run into that all the time on social media. Like, I'm actually kind of like crappy at posting on my social media. And when I voice that to people, I'm like, ugh, I'm so bad at like my social media. They're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, I don't know. It just always feels weird. But I'm like, what if I removed that like fear of like, oh my God, someone's going to be like, that's so cringe or whatever. It's just like, who cares? Don't watch it then. But I have to remind myself of that all the time. I still battle with that. But that's whatever.
And so talking about the question that I just asked you was the best thing about starting your business? And I get this sense from you too, that like at the end of the day, running your business and impacting people in this way, you feel really, really like you have purpose every day. You feel excited, you feel energized, but you don't feel drained. Like you did when you were teaching.
I feel energized. I feel the opposite of drained.
Yeah.
When I get off of a call with one of my authors, or when I get off of and that's another thing, it's like when I get off of like a group call of like a writing academy or a publishing academy, I'm like buzzing.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's go. That was awesome. And then they also say the same thing. They're like, the energy is just so contagious. Like, it's awesome. It's such a great vibe. It's just like the energy is so good.
Yeah.
So I end my days feeling like energized and like, excited instead of like coming home from work and being like, nobody look at me.
Nobody look at me. Nobody talk to me.
Right.
Don't. Yeah. I 100% agree with that. And that's something for me when people ask me like, what do you like, how are you doing? I'm like, I'm doing great. At the end of the day, I have purpose.
Yes.
And I'm energized. I literally am energized. Like I don't have to worry about, well, no, I can't do that because I have to get up early and work. I have to conserve my energy to put it all into that one space and then come home and have nothing left to give to my family.
Yep.
That is, that's incredible. Thank you for sharing that. So, okay, let me see. What other question do I want to ask you? Okay, what final piece of advice would you have for teachers that are looking to start a business or to publish a book? That could go either way.
Oh, well, if you want to publish a book, come see me, obviously. Yeah. I would literally love to help you.
Yes.
If you want to start a business, I don't know. I mean, this is so cheesy, but like literally just do it. You never know what's going to happen. Every time I launch something new, I never know. Like I launched my one-on-ones. I wrote my book. We can go all the way back. I wrote my book. My mom literally said, Hailey, are you going to be upset if you only sell 20 copies to friends and family?
Oh.
And I was like, and she was like coming from a place of concern, like, but I was like, no, because maybe this is my advice. No, because I did it for me. I had my reasons. I was writing it for my students. So if nobody bought it, I didn't care. I had a reason why I was doing it and fine. So, I mean, I didn't know what was going to happen with that. It went great. I mean, then I started offering one-on-ones. I'm like, maybe nobody will book them. My month's booked out. And then I did my first writing academy. When I did my first one, I was so scared that nobody was going to sign up. 6 people signed up within the first week and a half, and I had to like close it because I was like, I don't know how many people I can manage at one time in this. And I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. So you just got to give it a go.
See, what I just heard from that too is that like, yeah, just do it like Nike, like give it a go, just go for it. But also what you did was with purpose.
Yes.
Like it was so aligned to you and so like it felt good to you. And like you said, you're like, I don't care if nobody buys it. Like I'm going to use who cares? Like, who cares? So maybe it's not even necessarily starting a business. Maybe it's just pursuing that other thing that you're like, where might this lead? Where might this go? Who knows? Because the more like things that we try, the more opportunities just naturally, more people you meet, the more it's just more and more and more.
Yeah. So I guess it's more like, it's less like just do it, although just do it. And it's more like pay attention to what's coming up for you. Pay attention to like what you're drawn to, what you find yourself enjoying, and try and do something along those lines maybe.
Yes. Okay, Hailey, this was an amazing conversation. Tell me, everybody, well, I know where to find you, but tell everybody else where we can find you. That's Instagram, website, and tell me about your offers too.
Yeah. So my offers are, I have one-on-ones for anyone who wants to like come chit chat, has specific questions, wants to like figure out which path is best for them. And then I have my academy. So I have a writing academy where you come with your book idea and you leave with a beautifully polished manuscript. And that in both of my academies, we meet live. So my other academy is a publishing academy. We meet live, we publish your book, set it up for success. So one-on-ones, academies, and then I have GWG Press, which I take on a few manuscripts a year, and I work with my authors one-on-one over the course of like 6 months, and we bring their book to life kind of in that way. Awesome. So yeah, those are my offers right now. I don't know. They might change or expand in the future. You literally never know.
That's the thing with business, right? Like
It is.
Decide what's working and what your people want and need, and you get to create that. Yeah. And then where can we find you? Where's the best place? Where do you hang out?
So I mostly, I don't know. It ebbs and flows. It honestly depends on my mood. Yeah. But I'm just growing with Glynn on everything. On Instagram, it's growing_with_Glynn. TikTok is the same thing. Mostly Instagram and TikTok. I don't even have a Twitter or anything.
Cool.
And then my website is growingwithglynn.com.
Perfect. I'll put all those links in the show notes so they're easy for you guys to access if you want to chat more with Hailey about a book. And if you're listening to this, it's probably a sign. The universe is probably telling you something. You want to publish a book.
Here's your sign.
Here's Hailey. Yeah, here's your sign. Well, Hailey, thank you so much for sharing all of these amazing little gems with me and with our listeners. I know that they're going to love this. And yeah, you guys go find Hailey. She is incredible. So if you have any type of inkling of like, oh, I've always wanted to publish a book, come find her. Thank you, Hailey.
Thank you, Sandy.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Beyond the Classroom. If you know something has to change and you're ready to take the next step to make it happen, whether it's in or out of the classroom, let's talk it through together. Schedule a no-obligation chat with me and we can talk through where you're stuck, how to get you unstuck, and how to keep you moving forward. Schedule your free call today by clicking the link in the show notes. I can't wait to connect with you.